So made for a good crowd. Good on-track crowd, good racing, including the Grade 2 Santa Monica. You and I were just discussing this in the break. This is the first year this has been downgraded to a Grade 2. It had been a Grade 1. It is a Grade 2 this year, and hopefully get that back up with a couple of good wins here.
But Teddy's Promise is a Grade 1 winner, having won the La Brea the year before last. And Ron Ellis saying that she's never trained as good as she's training right now, which, if that's the case, and she runs to her works, scary for anyone trying to beat her today in the Santa Monica.
And you and I have both known Ron a long time. I think he's an outstanding trainer, and if anything, he's usually a bit understated. He's a bit more, well, she may need a race, or the last work wasn't exactly what I wanted. He was the total opposite going into this race, saying how good Teddy's Promise has trained for today's feature. 7
furlongs, $250,000 is the purse. Fillies and mares 4 and up in this Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes. Go down to Christina in the paddock.
Thanks very much. I'm joined by Gary Mandela. He is Kindle in this race. She lost nothing in defeat last time to Ms. Direction. That race was 20 days ago, though. How has she come out of it and trained since then?
No, I mean, she's eaten up and kept her weight and seems very happy. Otherwise, I wouldn't try it. So today we'll find out if she's as good on dirt as she is on turf.
Does the wet fast track worry you at all? It looks to be a little tiring for some of those horses on the front end in the last few races.
In those 2 turn races, it looked like it took its toll, but the sprint races ran in the style that she has. So I'm hoping that maybe that's a reflection on how the track is around the clubhouse turn, not so much, for the sprint races themselves. At least that's what I'm hoping.
The speed is her weapon, but does she have any relaxing in her if she needs to today?
I don't think she has to be gunned from the lead to be effective. I mean, she wants to be well placed early, obviously. She doesn't want to be behind horses and dirt in her face. But I think being on the outside, I think as long as she's up with them, I think she can wait, at least till the half-mile pole before she punches it into her best gear and kick on from there. Just have to hope that she's good enough.
All right, good luck. Thanks. Kindle for Gary Mandela. Lafitte?
When you're gauging track variance, Kurt, does it matter? Does it change in terms of a bias when you're dealing with the same oval, but sprint races versus route races?
Yes, and I agree with what Gary said. They're 100%. At least when we haven't seen a sprint for a couple races, so let's see what happens here. But the 2-mile race today, that stretch looked like it was really taking its toll on horses, and I think there is a difference. We're talking about Hot Barns earlier. Gary Mandela is one. He unveiled a first-time starter earlier today, Satakoy. Very impressive. Son of Bertrando broke his maiden in 108 and 2. Now, the track is playing fast, so I take that time with a grain of salt, but the way he did it, he's got a pretty nice colt in Satakoy, who's a half to Working Capital, who was another pretty decent horse. So, roundabout answer to your question, Lafitte, yeah, I think there is a difference with sprints and routes on this type of racetrack, and you can see by that shot there. It's not a true wet, fast track that we've gotten accustomed to. It's almost on the sloppy side of that. I don't know how to describe it, but looking at it, it looks different than it did the last 2 days.
And if you watch the horses trying to finish in both editions of the Cal Breeders' Champion Stakes, a lot of horses really laboring home from the quarter pole to the wire.
Laboring home. And now the other thing to factor in, too, is a lot of those horses probably don't want any part of 2 turns, because those are some Calbreds who don't want to go that far. But I don't think that was the case in the last race, because Omega Star's a candy ride at a Fusiacha Pegasus mare. That's not really California breeding in a way. That's breeding to run all day. So I don't know, Lafitte. It's kind of a tricky read really right now.
Post-parade for the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes, and there is the Aronis Racing's Journaliste making her second start in the States.
You could bet on this horse off the Argentinian pedigree and off-track form and Gomez. I mean, that's really all you need. And trained by Saddle. Off form? No. But
good enough for me.
Those are good enough sometimes, those are factors.
Number 2, Distracting by Windstar Sire Distorted Humor.
Beaten on the square by Snowfall and the Passiana. Should be fit off that race, so shortening back up to 7/8.
Currently 5-1, and then Sugar in the Morning. Martine Garcia riding for Ron McAnally.
This is who I like, Lafitte. I know she hasn't won in a long time, but she gets off the turf, she gets off the synthetic, she gets back onto dirt. Beaten a neck in this race last year. She's trained really well, and best of all, a gamble on. She's a big price at 10-1.
And the favorite, Teddy's Promise, was banked more than $480,000.
Deserves to be favored, and if you look at her form for a nice horse, it's amazing how few times she is favored. Only the 3rd time in her last 12 starts she's been the favorite.
Number 5, Bella the Hall, the dangerous combination of Corey Nakatani with Steve Asmussen, and then Kindle. Come and catch her if you can.
Kindle is very fast. I think she's faster than anyone else in the race. Maldonado will pop from the outside. Draws a good post with that style. If somebody wants to gun in front, maybe let him go, but I just think she's too fast with her post in here.
Pink Lollipops making her graded stakes debut.
She would be a surprise to me. She's been facing the non-winners 2 allowance condition. She was well beaten by Teddy's Promise last time out. 7/8, I think, is a bit of a stretch for her, but who knows? Maybe she'll improve for Baffert and Joe Talamo.
Bob Baffert seeking his second stakes victory on the afternoon. When we return, live running of the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes with a $250,000 purse. Teddy's Promise, 8 to 5 with 5 minutes to go. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Grandstand on Sunshine Millions Saturday. Christina Blacker, Kurt Hoover, I'm Lafitte Pinkai, and there is the field with the corresponding odds for the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes. Teddy's Promise, 8 to 5, partially because of what she was able to do in her most recent effort. How good was the Kalukan Queen? She racked up a 95 Beyer speed figure, the same Beyer speed figure that she earned when she won the Grade 1 La Brea Stakes here going 7/8.
Right on the number of feet. This was a good win. This was a $90,000 race, kind of a prep for the Santa Monica today. She runs them off their feet and comes away in 1:14.3. The runner-up, Snowfall, came back to win the Passiana. The third place finisher, Great Hot, doesn't win a lot, but she's a Grade 3 type stakes horse. She tries hard. So this is a very good, impressive win. And you can see the track looks a little bit like it looks today. So that should be a plus for Teddy's Promise.
Where does Victor Espinosa place Teddy's Promise early on?
The whole key to this race, Lafitte, at least looking at it from a pace standpoint, how I handicap races, is what the other riders are going to do about Kindle. She's the fastest horse. She's drawn in the best position. So down along the inside, distracting Bejarano. She's got some tactical speed, but she's not real quick. Same with Sugar in the Morning. Same with Teddy's Promise. And then same with Pink Lollipops on the outside. I don't think any of them are as quick as Kindle. If you leave Kindle all alone, she's going to be tough to run down. But I don't know who's going to go with her and pay the price for hooking up with her.
Two questions regarding Kindle. Can she be as effective on dirt as she is on grass? And can she get the 7 furlongs?
Can I say kind of in both respects, Lafitte? I mean, she's won on the dirt. I think she's better on grass. It's a tough call. I don't know. You know, I think the whole key is pace. If she clears, and I think she might, but I also think 7/8 is stretching it for her. And I think 6.5 is her game. You understand completely why Gary Mendel is running here. It's a Grade 2 race with a huge person. If she wins, she's worth a lot of money. And she's the fastest horse. And a lot of times on a track like this, the horse who's fastest will get in front and keep going. It just depends what Bejarano, Garcia, and Talamo do with their horses, because they all have some speed, but they're not dedicated front runners. And then Espinosa is going to kind of fall into the middle ground. I look for Espinosa probably to be sitting 4th or 5th, but a close 4th or 5th, somewhere in that range, Lafitte.
Kindle at 5 to 1 with Edwin Maldonado. Again, that heartbreaking loss to Ms. Direction, who did defend her title successfully in the Grade 2 Monrovia. And now Sugar in the Morning, who I know you like going in, still offering some value at 10 to 1 with Martin Garcia aboard.
Yeah, and there's a reason she's a big price. She hasn't won since the Fleet Treat Del Mar of 2011. She lost this race by neck last year. When watching that race back this morning, she didn't hang. She just lost a photo. She lost a head bob to Home Sweet Aspen. They were way clear of the rest of the field. And then she ran well in the Rancho Bernardo. She was second behind Winding Way. She was also second behind Switch. I think she's faced better horses than a lot of these have faced. Problem is, once you start piling up losses and they start losing or want to, it's a concern. But the price is right at 10 to 1, and I like Martin Garcia riding her back.
Journalist. The combination, as you mentioned, of the South American pedigree, the wet track, and the hot hand at Garrett Gomez, and that 7 to 1 at post time, all I need to hear.
For John Sadler, one of the top trainers.
That'll work as well.
I mean, they're all pluses, and I think that's why the horse is getting bet, because really off form, this horse is about 10, 15 to 1. Yeah. But I think those factors are getting some action here.
And her owner, Costa Ronis, off to a real good start at the meet. All right, it is post time for this Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes. There goes Kindle, pedal to the metal for Edwin Maldonado. Joe Talamo in the Zetcher colors with Pink Lollipops. Post time for the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes.
And away they go. Kindle hopped out the gate very fast, and Kindle opens up on them early. Teddy's Promise comes through to get second. On the inside, here's Distracting going up at joint second. Pink Lollipops is on the far side. Sugar in the Morning in the red, only 4 lengths off the leaders now. Behind that, Ballad the Hall and Journaliste is last. They head to the half-mile pole, and Kindle has dropped down onto the rail. Kindle at a fast pace leads it by a length. Distracting second. Teddy's Promise right there in third. Sugar in the Morning in a good spot, 4th. 4 lengths off that leader. Pink Lollipops on the far side. Ballad the Hall is inside of her. And Journaliste is last, 8 off the lead. Into the turn they go, and still Kindle the leader by a length and a half. Kindle to distracting. Teddy's Promise goes after them on the far side. Sugar in the Morning right there. Pink Lollipops gets a tap on the shoulder to pick it up. Then Belle of the Hall. Last of all is Journaliste. They're at the top of the lane, and Kindle now tackled by Teddy's Promise. And here's Teddy's Promise up on the outside. Teddy's Promise, Kindle battles back on the inside, then distracting. Sugar in the Morning behind that. They are homeward bound now, and Teddy's Promise takes the advantage. And Ultra Game Kindle battles right back. Sugar in the Morning, but it is Teddy's Promise pulling clear late now. And a scintillating performance today from Teddy's Promise. Teddy's Promise and Victor Espinosa win about 3.5 in the end. Sugar in the Morning second. Again, Kindle was third, and then distracting.
Ron Ellis said she had never trained better, and she performs accordingly, Smooch. Teddy's Promise dominant in the Grade 2 Santa Monica Stakes.
On paper, she looked like the best horse. She looked like she should win. The only concern was she'd thrown in some poor efforts along the way, but we talked about Ron's comments about her going in, and he's usually an understated guy. She was much the best here. Her class showed in the final eighth of a mile, and she came home nicely in 1:22.3. And I thought Edwin Maldonado did the right thing on Kindle. Pop the gate, open up, try and back it up. He went to half in 45.3. That's not real fast in this racetrack. She just doesn't want to run 7 furlongs. That's obvious watching that.
She's showing her class, battling exactly down along the inside. But Teddy's Promise, just too much merit this afternoon. Fourth win at Santa Anita, and this is where she has done most of her damage, specifically at the 7 furlong distance, the Grade 1 La Brea. And now, what for many years was a Grade 1, now a Grade 2 Santa Monica.
And a good try by Sugar in the Morning. She sat fourth in a good trip. She finished well, and she was second best. She got off at odds of 11-1. No doubt who was best, though. Teddy's Promise, Victor Espinosa, and Ron Ellis. And what a quiet, good meeting Victor Espinosa's having, Lafitte. And Teddy had a slow 2012.
Yeah, no, he's in a groove. And another big win here with Teddy's Promise, a 4-3-8-2 finish in the Grade 2 Santa Monica. You'll hear from the winning connections momentarily. As we wait, we do OU race.